Greetings. Welcome to Juxstasuppose, blog number 2. Sorry it's been a while since I've responded, but busy as usual, like the rest of us. I want to talk a little bit today about some issues that have been floating through my brain in regards to both the horrendous events at Charlottesville, the and the whirlwind of information, and I use the term information loosely, that is being bandied about. And of course, our president's actions in regards to those events. And I'm going to jump around a lot here, so I apologize if my thoughts seem a little discombobulated beforehand. First of all, none of us that have been, unless we lived under a rock, are unaware of what happened at Charlottesville, especially the gentleman who, yes, happened to be a U.S. Army veteran, driving his car into a crowd of people, hitting and killing one of the counter-protesters. This has reignited both on my social media pages and with various friends and other things like that. And we've seen the various condemnations ranging from outright pointed, this is wrong, this is not right, there's no way you justify any of this, to lukewarm, to outright just short of encouraging future actions by people, future violence. They're not neo-Nazis, they're not alt-rights, they are ignorant and willfully so individuals who espouse a philosophy that should have died a death and belong in the dustbin of history. But this is not the first time that people have admired a genocidal maniac or a homicidal maniac throughout human history. I mean, even in the 20th century, you have the Armenian massacre. You have the Tutsis and Hutus in Africa during the first Clinton administration. Somalia. You have a lot. We as a species have a very poor track record when it comes to this. But to those that are, beating the drum of let's go punch some Nazis. Okay. Anyone that knows me knows that I don't hide it. I served in combat. I've seen more. Now, in regards to how and in the previous iteration of this, I had, when an Antifa gentleman, a gentleman claiming was a member of Antifa, which is the anti-fascist group on the left, punched Richard Spencer while he was being talked to a reporter. It was, we had people applauding this, and then there's also been people that have went, hey, wait a minute, I'm not really comfortable with the idea of just randomly walking up and sucker punching someone. Well, okay, this is going to diverge into two separate areas. We're going to deal with them one at a time. First of all, let's deal with the moral implications of the advocating violence towards our fellow citizens or fellow human beings because of a political viewpoint. Now, I'm not making any moral judgments here on you're right or you're wrong. I want you, if you're going to go punch Nazis, or if you're a Nazi and you're going to go punch somebody else or commit violence, understand, once you commit force, once you commit to the action of force, and once you throw a fist, shoot a bullet, stab with a knife, anytime you take a violent action, there is no taking that back. Next point in that chain of thought. Actions have consequences. Words have consequences. And thoughts and feelings don't have consequences until we act upon those thoughts or feelings. So keep that in mind. Third point in this. Those consequences of that action can go far beyond just your immediate self. A lot of my friends that are, let's go punch some Nazis, have families, wives, children, relatives, and you know, it's easy to get caught up in our passions because unfortunately, or fortunately, we learned a hard lesson at the end of the Second World War about understanding both the depths of depravity of the human spirit and psyche, but also the fact that we said never again. We will not do this again. We will not let this happen again. Well, folks, we've kind of failed on that. Not through any events of our own direct control, but just because of the way things have worked out in the world. Now, you want to commit violence, so you want to go punch Nazis, or maybe you want to actually kill Nazis. I don't condone this. Now I will tell you this, and I'll tell you why I don't condone it. When we take the law into our own hands, when we choose to operate outside the bounds of the legal framework of us as citizens, we then forfeit, legally forfeit our rights and protections under that law, and then we become subject to prosecution under that law. So if you're prepared to go to prison or worse, and prepared to what the effect that'll have on your family, your friends, your livelihood, everything like that, I am not in a position to stop you, but I would ask you to think before you pull that trigger or throw that punch. Take that act. Now, however, here's a caveat to that. If you are walking down the street and you see some skinhead or whatever beating somebody, and it's clearly that this person is in danger of losing their life, then you have a moral obligation and responsibility to act to preserve that person's life. But again, as I said previously, you then expose yourself to losing your own and various other things. But, sometimes, the hard right is never the easy way to go. So enough about that. Let's go to the other half that I was talking about earlier about the second branch of the so you want to punch a Nazi. Okay, we've talked about kind of the legal stuff and everything like that. Now, not everybody's trained to throw a punch, to be effective at it and not hurt yourself, to hurt your opponent, things like that. Or you may use a gun. Okay, understand. Again, these things require training. So understand that. Understand that, the average person is not going to be up to snuff in the act of committing violence. Now, those are fairly easy skills to learn in the sense of any idiot can pick up a gun and point in a general direction and aim a trigger. But to truly be effective requires training and dedication to that craft. Now, so that kind of finishes that thought. Now I want to kind of shift this now away from the let's punch Nazis to the people that can't or don't feel comfortable in committing violence. Maybe you're a pacifist, maybe you're someone who has a lot of physical limitations, and killing houseflies is about as much strength you can muster to hit something. There are other ways to resist. There are other ways to fight these people. And the one thing I will agree with my friends who are of a more left-leaning point of view, or even the centrist point of view, this viewpoint has no place in American society. It does not. We fought a war. A lot of men, women, and children, both civilian and military, lost their lives in that conflict that we know today as the Second World War against Nazi Germany. Now, one of the things that you can do, that if you want to resist these people, you want to fight this, find a local Jewish synagogue in your area. Give time or money to organizations that are out there fighting this. Anti-Defamation League, the ACLU, Southern Poverty Law Center, support candidates that take strong and clear stances against this kind of behavior and rhetoric. Write your current congresspeople, state, local, demand that your government hold these people accountable and hold them accountable. Organize with your community, your fellow human beings. Recognize the humanity of these people that are being oppressed by this hate speech and group, and understand there are a lot of things that you can do. Even if all you can do is internet activism and sign petitions and do data entry for maybe one of these organizations or some other form of distant but passive, and do it. Do whatever you can afford to do and more, and a little bit more. Because unfortunately, we are now in danger of having normalized this. And unfortunately, this is not something that's going to go away overnight. This has existed for quite a few years in human history, even in our own country. Our people, our culture, our way of life deserves better than to be represented by a bunch of people who espouse a mishmash of views that often contradict itself and completely misrepresent what they see, because the flaws that they see are largely creations of themselves. And by that I mean they create this problem, these flaws. Because largely at the end of the day, the thing that they fail is we are all human beings, and all humanity has equal value. Life is sacred and should be respected and protected, even from itself. But unfortunately, when you come across views like this and people who are willing to take the lives of others and deny others those same freedoms and those same rights that are inherent to all people, not just citizens of this country, then yes, we should fight. But understand that war and warfare have very serious consequences and go far beyond just a simple act of throwing a punch. I'll do more on this, and I apologize if I rambled a little bit here, but I want you to keep this in mind. Fight. Because unfortunately, they have experienced encouragement and a rebirth, at least in the public view. They didn't go away, folks. They've been there all along. It is up to us to do as much as we can to fight that hateful view and that disrespect of the general humanity of all of us. Thank you. Have a good day, and hope to hear from you. Please comment below.